Hello, everybody. I am Rue, and welcome back to my cozy corner of BookTube, Rue with the Books. If you're new here, then welcome. If you've been here before, then welcome back. It is always good to see a friendly face. In this video, I will be reacting to the epic memes on r/BookMemes because sometimes it's nice to take a break from the reading, the reviewing, and just laugh about whatever you're interested in. And in today's video, that's going to be books because we love books, and hopefully these book memes will get us giggling a little bit. Be sure to press the like button to support my content and throw a subscribe my way too if you like books, booktube content, and memes, because we have those around here. Rightio, time for some book memes. Honesty is the best policy. Author's note, if we are related, please, for the love of God, do not read this book. Starting off with a banger here. That is so very true. I mean, authors be writing, first of all, spicy scenes. They be writing very gory stuff. They be writing stuff that is messed up, like psychotic characters. And it really gives a window into the imagination of the person writing the book. So it's very understandable that an author may not want their relatives to read their book. So that's a good one. Why it feels the same either way. That terrifying moment when everything is happily resolved, but the book still has 200 pages left. That terrifying moment where there's too many things that need resolving, but the book only has 20 pages left. Either way, just like, ah. Okay. This is very, very, very relatable. In the first scenario, it's like, what on earth is going to happen? And it's going to be some kind of roller coaster that the author has cooked up. You just don't see anything coming. And that's a good position to be in, to be fair. That terrifying moment, there's too many things that need resolving, but the book only has 20 pages left. That typically indicates to me that either the ending is going to be rushed or something so random and so unexpected is going to happen that's just going to completely change the trajectory of where the book is going. The reaction image has them kind of like, eh, but I think it's a good place to be in because that unpredictability, that randomness, it can really throw a spanner in the works in a good way, and I'm all for it. Man arrested after breaking into a Barnes& Noble at midnight to finish a book he had been reading in store for 4 consecutive days and needed to resolve before sleeping. I'm not saying he's right, but I understand. Wow. Okay. I mean, that is some level of commitment. I mean, he must have been camping out for hours on end to be reading this book. I'm kind of surprised that nobody from the shop came up to him and be like, "Hey, buddy, we'd appreciate if you actually paid for this." So that's kind of funny. I wonder how long he also got arrested for. Like, surely that's like a couple days in the slammer kind of thing. I wonder if it goes up for repeat offenses of reading books in bookshops without paying. Be honest, do you read the last line by accident, or are you into self-sabotage? Don't you hate it when you're reading a chapter and then it's coming to its climax and OMG, what's going to happen? Then whoops, your eyes dart to the last line and you spoil yourself and hate yourself for it. Every single book, every single chapter, every single time. I do this to myself all the time, but rather than it being the last line of a page, it's typically the name of the next chapter. Because these days, not every single book actually has a contents page. And if I say have half an hour, I'll be flicking through, trying to actually figure out how many pages there are to the next chapter and if I have time to read the chapter. And then my eyes, they just can't help themselves from reading what the name of the next chapter is. And it's like, oh my God, that's going to happen? Wow. To be fair, I think unless it's like a really dramatic spoiler, usually instead of being like, I hate myself, it just gets me excited to finish the chapter I'm on and get on to the next big thing that's going to happen. So I can see both sides here. Chapter 1 regret. The story so far in the beginning of the universe. was created. This has made a lot of people very angry and wildly regarded as a bad move. This is my favorite quote ever. I mean, that is quite a good quote, to be fair. It does really, really remind me of the thermodynamics quote. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Ludwig Boltzmann, who spent much of his life studying statistical mechanics, died in 1906 by his own hand. Paul Ehrenfest, carrying on the work, died similarly in 1933. Now it is our turn to study statistical mechanics. Been there, done that. I'm still alive, so there is hope for those of you. But yeah, this meme, it kind of reminds me of that very famous start of a textbook. My best tip for anybody trying to get back into reading is to remember that you can read books to avoid other responsibilities in your life, and it can become a vice if you play your cards right. You know, that is some next level thinking. I love that kind of insight, and I love that shift in mentality and really flipping things on their head. So I agree with this. Yes, if you have something you're trying to avoid, be it chores, be it studying, be it, I don't know, that grind in the video game that's going to take you hundreds of hours, you can just read. I endorse this. Please go read. If you see a writer smiling at their phone, they've just found a scientifically accurate way to torture their protagonist. All writers should have a doctor friends. Can you get internal bleeding, like coughing up blood from broken ribs and blunt force trauma to the abdomen? Yes. I can see them plotting like James Bond, like the James Bond villain, like, yes, yes. Or excellent. Yeah, having people that are professionals in their respective fields when those fields apply to your book certainly is an upside, because nothing sucks a reader out of your book like a lot of unrealistic things happening. So if things seem plausible, things seem reasonable, things seem messed up, I'm like, yes, very cool. But technically, free Wi-Fi can mean free books in places where no other books are available. Free book, free Wi-Fi. Well, to be fair, right, in this day and age, most people tend to have data. So you already pay for access to internet at any point in your life, so long as you actually get signal. So I'd go into the free books door, so long as there's actually good free books, because I've claimed a lot of Amazon First Reads books, and I've not read any of them. So that's my guilty confession. I'm more into those 99p book deals, if you get me. Genius Shakespeare. When Shakespeare said, "No man born from woman will kill Macbeth," and later revealed that Macduff was born from a C section, he really is the writer everyone says he is. He's genuinely so insane for that. Like, how did he come up with that? That twist had stuck with me in high school. Like, whoa, you are the immortal bard for a reason. I know he was giggling to himself when he came up with that. An actual genius. I mean, yeah, that is a good troll, to be fair. I think a lot of modern writers take inspiration from Shakespeare with twists like this and plays on words and puns. So, yeah, I give credit where credit is due. Shakespeare certainly did cook with this one. I work at a bookstore, and this was an actual conversation I had at work last night. 5-year-old boy brings me a romance book. What's this? A story about two people falling in love. Is there a dragon in it? No. Then why'd you even have it? In some senses, it's relatable. But replace dragon with anything else. I'm actually not that big into dragons. I don't love dragon fantasy so much. What tropes or things do I prefer? Give me like necromancers, or basically give me anything that Joe Abercrombie writes. So give me a crippled, give me a torturer, sorry. Give me a poisoner. Give me someone that's really messed up, but I can still root for them because it's fun. I think that's better than dragons. Overheard in the library, yeah, 15 books. We are coming back later this week. It will be okay. 9-year-old girl. You don't know that. Something could happen. These are my emergency books. In fairness, you never know when the internet could go down, and having something you can just whip out and read at any time is very, very convenient. Luckily, as a not 9-year-old, I can afford books myself, so I don't need to take out a million books from the library, and I can let other people enjoy those million books that I have not taken out. What fictional character do you genuinely feel like you grew up with? Do you ever get so upset that fictional characters have the same age as you and they've gone on such magical adventures and you haven't? What do you mean? You went on all those adventures with them, didn't you? That is the best answer ever. This feels like a little cutesy quote, but fair enough. Yes, you certainly do get transported to these adventures, but hey, um, I'm in that feeling that being there, like actually physically in person and not imagining it, would be so much cooler. But that one book that keeps you awake at night. When the book gets so intense, I have to physically put the book down and walk out of the room. Shock face. To be honest, I'm the kind of person that binges. There's nothing in a book that can happen that makes me walk out the room. Sometimes I do have a gasp. Sometimes I have to pause and I have to read this quote or whatever to my partner. Sometimes I have to have a giggle and just pause, but I never walk out the room. I usually, within about a minute or two, I'm reading those pages again, getting productive, reading those words. But yeah, if a writer does this to you, it's a sign that is a fantastic book. I was today years old when I found out I'm actually Japanese. In Japanese, tsundoku refers to the act of collecting books and letting them accumulate, not as a result of neglect, but rather as a source of joy and anticipation, knowing that they hold untold stories waiting to be discovered. I mean, having a large collection of books is nice, yeah. Having loads of books you haven't read is great because it's true. You can look forward to reading all of those books. But I have like equal joy in actually reading those books and being like, yes, okay, I've only got like 4 or 5 books in my physical TBR left. Let's not get into my Kindle books because that's a whole different story. There's way too many on there. When your friend hypes you up about your terrible jokes just so you don't feel bad, she giggled again, softer this time, before settling, her fingers threading through his curls. Oh, Kit, I adore your sense of humor. You really are a sweet grouch. And those awful jokes of yours, they're dreadful, but I love them all the same. That's like a backhanded compliment. It's endearing, but I'd be like, what the hell? That's messed up. Friendly fire, friendly fire. You start a new book. You're off the next day. All chores and errands are done, and there's leftovers in the fridge. The blanket is warm. All of the sudden starts raining and there's thunder in the distance. Sounds like a absolutely perfect evening. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have made it this far, I hope you find the book meme today that has you cry laughing for like 5-10 minutes straight, because that feeling of no air in your lungs because you can't stop laughing is goated, right? Anyway, if you want to connect with me outside of YouTube, there are some socials in the description below, namely being my Goodreads, my TikTok, my Instagram, and my Storygraph. So go ahead and get at me in those if you so wish. Be sure to press the subscribe button to get more of my content. I upload every week, so long as I have a space available for recording. So that is plenty of content in your subscription feed regularly. So yeah, please do subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And anyway, yeah, hope you had a great time and I shall see you soon. Root out.